Do you personally dislike homosexuals?
Of course, they are disgusting. What sort of people are they? How can you go? I never knew what they were doing. That's how I've been told recently that what they do is terrible, disgusting. But I was ready to ignore that if there was proof that that's how he's born, abnormal. But now the proof is not there.
Mr. Should I call you Mr? Sure. Pepe Julian Onzima, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
I just want one homosexual, brilliant enough, in Britain or America or the whole world to come and face me. We face off each other. And he tells me when he started realizing that he was actually gay. Right. Because they are lying.
Pastor, let's maintain civility on the show. Let's maintain civility. Let's maintain civility. Pastor Semper argues that these are the instruments you use.
These are vegetables.
Yes.
I eat this
Yes.
on my plate.
You eat them on your plate.
Yes.
You don't use them when you're having carnal knowledge.
Absolutely no, and Semper should stop misinforming the public.
Are you a gay? You are gay. Since
as far as I can remember.
Now, tell me this. Have you ever had any woman?
No.
How many men have you had?
How many men? Oh, I couldn't count.
Many?
Oh, yeah.
You've had many? More than 10?
Yeah.
More than 20?
Yeah.
50?
Yeah.
So you don't love?
Yeah. I haven't had as many as I told you, by the way. Yeah, go on.
You don't love?
I do love.
So it's ganging?
I do love.
It's reckless?
It's not like I've been philandering myself everywhere and carousing.
One comes, another comes,
no,
another comes.
Like that.
You see, it's reckless.
Like...
We're on the same page.
Why don't you fight for heteros as well?
What do you mean?
Heterosexuals.
What do you mean? Fight for heterosexuals?
Why
do you mean fighting for heterosexuals?
For their rights. Yeah, for their rights.
They are so. I am a human rights defender. I'm
not
not limited.
Sodome
I am not
defender.
limited.
You
I
are
am
an
not
activist
limited.
for LGBTI.
I am an
Lesbians,
activist.
gays,
bisexual,
transgender, and intersexuals.
Let me tell you something.
Where's the H?
You put it into your heart, into your mind that I think, and now you believe it. You've got to say that to deceive other people because you want so many people to come to your ranks.
I don't want anyone to come to my ranks. I'm not recruiting people. It's just the way I am.
Now, you're a homosexual. We've met. Yeah. Have I killed you?
Not yet, no.
We will have our morals. We will protect our children. And we are making this law. We are making this law for ourselves. We are making this law for our children. We are making this law for the children of our children. This country will stand firm. And once it passed, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we are going to reinforce the law enforcement officers to make sure that homosexuals have no space in Uganda.
But we're going now to Uganda, where human rights advocates are condemning President Yoweri Museveni for signing a sweeping anti-LGBTQ measure into law that makes same-sex relationship punishable by life imprisonment. And in some cases, people can get the death penalty.
There's no hope, but where are we supposed to go? You don't want us in your country. You're not giving us jobs. You're not giving us education. You're not giving us medication. You are criminalizing people renting to us. Where do you want us to go? You are arresting us for literally doing nothing, for simply existing, you know? But where are we supposed to go? How did we become refugees in our own countries?
This law is a horrific law, and it's horrific in the sense that although the signed piece does not have the criminalization of identity, already the first versions of the law had already criminalized identity, and people are being targeted based on their identity, real or suspected identity. We are recording cases of eviction because landlords are being compelled by this law to report. even if the law has not yet been gazetted, but people are already taking action. Since March, actually since February, when the debate began, we've been seeing a rise in violations towards LGBTIQ persons. We are seeing LGBTIQ persons becoming more homeless. Homelessness has been a real issue for the community, and we are seeing that on the rise because evictions are happening. Family banishment is happening, people being kicked out of churches, jobs, schools, young people who are, effeminate, who are soft, soft boys or very masculine girls are being condemned by this law. That is already happening, people deprived of education. But more so, our fight against HIV is also being impeded by this law, because if you're homosexual and you are found to be HIV positive, that is under aggravated homosexuality, which leads to punishment by death. Already we have laws on our books that punish homosexual conduct as unnatural offenses. And this has been a law that the public has been using to condemn us, to blackmail, to extort money, to extort even same-sex sex, and lots of other, violations with a lot of impunity. So that is coming more to light and just increasing in its magnitude right now.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Every time, guys, when I say, when they're protesting a bill, again, go look up the bill, see what it says yourself.
You're right. Okay? Ursula ass is right. Poor unfortunate hoes. She's right. When you are trying to educate yourself, it's best to look up the bill and see what it is. But you got to be able to be aware enough, educated enough to understand what those bills mean. But from the Republic of Uganda, they're going to break down the Anti-Homosexuality Act, and she is going to explain to us what that bill actually means, because she says that she studies to show herself approved.
Go look up the bill.
Right.
See yourself what it is saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the bill is saying.
What's it saying, girl?
All right. So the Anti-Homosexuality Act of 2023, an act that prohibits any form of sexual relations between persons of the same sex, to prohibit the promotion or recognition of sexual relations between persons of same sex and for related matters.
Okay, so the Anti-Homosexuality Act, an act to prohibit, to stop, to prevent any form of sexual relations between persons of the same sex, to prohibit or to stop the promotion or recognition of sexual relations between persons of the same sex and for related matters. They make it seem like it's so plain, it's so easy, you can see it. Even blind motherfucker Stevie Wonder and goddamn Ray Charles and them could see what the hell is going on. Okay? Now, if we look over here in America, for a lot of people, they look at queer people on the act of sex only and then build their own narratives from that. You have people who are not even who are not even queer. They're heterosexual, but they may be feminine in their being, with their expression. They might dress in a more feminine way. They might talk in a certain type of way. They may look a certain way, but people will sit up there and say, oh, that nigga gay. Let's not act like we sat here and build destructive ass narratives around queer people and homosexuality. And even here in America, there are people who are so anti-queer that they sit up here and deny any form of hygiene in reference to wiping their ass because it's gay. So again, this is a farce way to set up the bill to basically target queer people and make it so broad that you can't specify what it is that you're supposed to be targeting about queer in specific. They're saying the sexual relations between persons of the same sex, but what if those people do it like how Lance Scurv said, do it behind closed doors? But this bill is not even talking about behind closed doors. It says an act to prohibit any form of sexual relations. That means giving motherfuckers head. That means beating off. Hell, that means body jacking. Or what they call frottage or leg of lamb. Basically, you get oiled up and y'all grind on each other. But it's not going to just be there. If two men in Uganda are holding hands, that's going to be considered sexual. Because when they see two men holding hands, where do they mind automatically go to? Pound Town. What's up, Queen Amber? If they see two men sharing a romantic kiss out in public, that can be seen as an act of sexual relations between two same-gender loving people. And y'all want to literally sit up here and tell us as queer people that these bills are not dangerous, that these bills are not real, that queer people, especially in America, because we're talking about Uganda right now, but the reason why the queer people in America are responding to the fear-based energy of Uganda, because again, when we do our research, we understand that this Anti-Homosexuality Act that actually got pushed this year, but was drafted way back, I want to say anywhere between 2010 to 2013. What's up, Lay? What's going on, bruh? Back during that time, the reason why it's pushed now is because there is a religious agenda behind it. Before this act came into power, there was this ex-gay movement that was happening over in Africa, over in Uganda. And guess who spearheaded that? Christian nationalists. So if a bill like this could be passed in Uganda and it was spearheaded and it was funded by religious institutions, okay, and white supremacist evangelical faith, if that could happen in Uganda and it's pushed by Christians, what the fuck do you think could happen here in America? Because at the end of the day, America, the largest or one of the largest faith-based beliefs in America is Christianity. But anyway, we're going to let the woman who is a cisgender woman who, girl, needs to talk to drag queens, who needs help with blenders and consume, and need help with that hair. It's something about these Kim Burrell built ass people, girl, when they be talking shit about the gays, girl, they hair be looking fucked up, girl. There's all type of stuff be happening. But anyway, let's continue.
So, interpretation of some terms they're going to use, like advanced age means 75 years old and above. Child means a person below the age
Okay, in this act, unless the contact otherwise requires advanced age means 75 years of age and above. Child means a person below the age of 18. Child care institutions, including an orphanage, because the way she gonna read it, girl, she gonna read it like she drunk. Includes an orphanage, children's home, child care institute. Children's home, open shelter, an institution of learning, or any residential child care institution, whether licensed or unlicensed, established for purposes of providing care and protection to children who need such services. So in this act, the Homosexuality Act, unless the context otherwise requires, in this, and I'm reading again because I want to make sure that sometimes we got to hook on phonics, kind of bring this down and kind of go by syllable so it hits in our heads. In this act, the Anti-Homosexuality Act, right? Unless the context otherwise requires advanced age child care institution. Okay.
Child care institution.
So unless the context requires this.
Open shelter, an institution of learning, or a residential child care institution, whether licensed or unlicensed, established for the purpose of providing care and protection to children who need such services. Computer.
Okay, computer means an electronic, magnetic, optical, electrochemical, or other data processing device, or a group of such interconnected or related devices, performing logical, arithmetic, or storage functions, and includes any data storage facility or communication facility directly related to or operating in conjunction with such a device or groups of such interconnected or related devices. Y'all don't mind putting this shit in the act, girl, and sounding all smart and shit when you can motherfucking cut and paste all these different things of what it requires, girl, but y'all can't even break down the general idea of what y'all... What? Okay. Well, let me read the rest of it, girl, because her ass. Currency point has the value assigned to it in the schedule to this act. Disability means a substantial limitation of daily life activities caused by physical, mental, or sensory impairment and environment barriers resulting in limited participation. Female person means a person born with a female sexual organ. Homosexual means a person who engages in an act of homosexuality. Homosexuality means the performance of a sexual act by a person of the same sex.
Means an electronic, magnetic, optical, electrochemical,
yes, girl,
or other data processing device, or a group of such interconnected or related devices, performing logical, arithmetic.
Okay, let's continue to go down.
The possibility of being released.
Okay, so imprisonment for life means imprisonment for the natural life of a person without the possibility of being released. Now, what's some of the stuff you didn't highlight? Information system services include the provision of connections, operation facilities for information systems, the provision of access to information systems, the transmission or routing of data messages between or among points specified by a user, and the processing and storage of data at the individual request of the recipient of the service. Intersex means a person who is born with both male and female sexual organs, or is born with ambiguous genitalia.
Intersex means a person who is born with both male.
I just read that.
See? You have to be intersex, not non-binary. Intersex. But whatever.
Wow.
But they try to pretend like you're not a male or female. No. That's intersex. Or what they say in French, hermaphrodite.
Girl, and yes, I'm dragging y'all because it's Pride Month. So of course, girl, the fuck. Excuse me. I love how y'all sit here and tell queer people how the fuck they gonna motherfucking identify as. Meanwhile, y'all the ones with the limited ass mindset. If y'all are limited, girl, if the mind is not minding, okay, if the brain is not braining, girl, if it's not doing any of that, just say that. Y'all feel like because y'all graduated high school and college that y'all done with learning. No, this is life. You're going to be learning forever. You're going to always be a student. No matter what you master, you will be a student in some way, shape, form, or regard. And in this case, y'all are the students. Because queer people are here to teach y'all something. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what y'all think or what y'all believe about a person, that person has to actually live their life. So if they're the ones that have to live the actual reality, they should be the ones to be able to rightfully or justifiably be able to define what they're going through, because they're the ones going through it.
So, crank that stuff up. Male person means a person born with a male sexual organ. So sexual offender means a person who has previous conviction for the offense of homosexuality or related offenses. Sex means the biological state of a person as either male or female, and in the case of intersex people, means the status adopted by the intersex person as being dominant either naturally or through medical physician, but does not include sexual orientation. Okay, sex contraption means a device or object used to stimulate.
Okay, girl, let me read it, girl, because the way you read, girl, it'd be like there'd be no sort of grammatical shit going on. Serial offender means a person who has previous convictions for the offense of homosexuality or related offenses. So a serial homosexual. So you keep being a homosexual. You keep being a homosexual, girl. You keep being a homosexual to other people. Okay. Sex means the biological state of a person is either male or female. And in the case of an intersex person, means the status adopted by the intersex person as being dominant, either natural or through medical transitions, but does not include sexual orientation. So it's even to help us understand that sex and sexual orientation are completely two different things, okay? Sexual contraption means a device or object used to stimulate a person's organ or to simulate sexual intercourse between persons of the same sex. So damn, you can't even fuck yourself? Yeah. Sexual acts means the stimulation or penetration, however slight, A, of a person's anus or mouth by a sexual organ of another person of the same sex. B, of a person's anus, sexual organ, or mouth by a sex contraption by a person of the same sex. Or C, of a person's anus or sexual organ by any part of the body of the person of the same sex. Girl, what the fuck? Wow. Wow.
A sexual organ or to stimulate
Okay, girl, we're gonna get past
part of the body.
Okay.
A female person, a vagina. And
Okay, girl. Sexual organ means, in the case of female person, a vagina, or B, in the case of a male person, a penis. Again, trans people understand what their biology is. They understand that they were born male if they are transitioned, if they are a trans woman and born, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm right. And was born female if they're transitioning into a trans man. Again, you say this. Okay? Gender is male, female. Okay? Man, woman is the expression of what that culture calls or believes to be or sees it to be as. Okay? So trans people know that they were born the gender that they were born, but they're choosing the expression. They're choosing the pathway. They're choosing the outward godly divine expression of what they choose to be. Okay? Sexual orientation means a person's identity in relation to the sex to which the person is sexually attracted. Terminal illness means a disease without a scientific cure. Victims of the offense means a child against whom the offense of aggravated homosexuality has been committed. B, a person suffering from mental illness or any other form of disability against whom the offense of aggravated homosexuality has been committed. Or C, any other person against whom the offense of homosexuality or aggravated homosexuality was committed. First, by means of threats, force, fear of bodily harm, duress, undue influence, intimidation of any kind, or through misinterpretations as to the nature of the act. Or two, while unconscious or in an altered state of consciousness due to the influence of medicine, drugs, alcohol, or any other substance that impairs his or her judgment. Vulnerable person means a person in need of special protection as a result of age, sex, illness, physical or mental disability, social or personal status, or other status, and includes a refugee, an internally displaced person, a stateless person, an asylum seeker, a victim of gender-based violence, and an illiterate person or elderly person.
In the case of a male person.
Okay, girl. Yeah, we gonna skip through that.
So it's a bit.
Yeah.
seeker, a victim of gender-based violence, and an illiterate person or elderly person. All right.
Now we get to the red. Girl, bring it back.
We're about to read the Kwame. Hey, Kwame, how you doing? How you doing, Kwame? What's up? I don't need to share anymore.
Go to comments.
Okay, so where's the button to stop sharing? Okay, stop sharing. I'm not sharing anymore.
Go to comments. It's
all right,
trash.
guys, let's do this. Let's do this. All right, let's start reading the bill, because you have to work on the terminology to know what this means, what that means, what this means, what that means.
Now she's going to read the bill, y'all.
Let's start reading the law.
Mm-hmm.
What the law says.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, the offense of homosexuality. The offense of homosexuality. 1, a person committing the offense of homosexuality if
why you ain't, so you was reading the red stuff. So why you ain't share that? Because that's what you about to read? Okay, we're going to do it for you, girl. At least what we can see.
Or other status, and includes a refugee, an internally displaced person, a stateless person, an asylum seeker, a victim of gender-based violence, and an illiterate person or elderly person. All right.
Okay. I can only read what I can see. That's part 2. Homosexuality and related practices. The offense of homosexuality. A person commits the offense of homosexuality if the person performs a sexual act or allows a person of the same sex to perform a sexual act on him or her. 2, a person who commits the offense of homosexuality is liable on conviction to imprisonment for life. Thirdly, a person who attempts to perform a sexual act in the circumstances referred to in the subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 10 years. 4, for purposes of subsection 3, a person shall be deemed to attempt shall be deemed to attempt to commit an offense when the person intending to commit an offense begins to put his or her intention into execution by means of adapted to its fulfillment and manifests his or her intention by some overt act, but does not fulfill his or her intention to such an extent as to commit the offense. For the avoidance of doubt, a person who is alleged of being a homosexual, who has not committed a sexual act, with or whatever, the person of the same sex, does not commit the offense of penalty under this section. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Get to the fun stuff.
Wow. Get back to the fun stuff.
We're about to read the Kwame. Hey, Kwame, how you doing? How you doing, Kwame?
And that's why I'm gonna drag the fuck out of y'all. That's why I'm gonna drag the fuck out of y'all diabetic asses. I'm gonna drag the fuck out of y'all goddamn triple necked heaven asses. I'm going to drag, demolish you goddamn Mucinex mascot looking people. Y'all just sat up here and said, let's get to the fun part. The part that actually talk. Y'all revel so much. Y'all are so proud of Uganda to do the one thing that you motherfuckers is afraid to do. Y'all are literally praising and are excited and happy. And goddamn getting wet and getting hard thinking about all the shit that can happen to queer people. To erase it. Yes, erase it. Erase it. You got people in the comment section, but not like the individual named Kwame, not Kwame Kilpatrick. It says our other countries in Africa should stand up to stomp out this nastiness. Yes, this is the law in Africa, Jamar, that was influenced by the energy of Christians that are here in America. I would never sit up here and say, or sit up here and be ignorant enough to believe that it can never happen here in America. There are plenty of people who are dead and gone right now who never thought it could have happened to them. And look what happened. So since y'all having fun, since it's fun to drag queer people, since it's fun to sit up here and play in queer people's faces when their lives are literally on the fucking line, And again, it is such a broad ass fucking bill. Even Beatrice NOEL is going to express how she feels. She's going to have a moment of clarity, okay? Where she's going to say, wow, this is very fucking broad. We see what's going on. We understand and see what the power of fear looks like. And it's kind of like, bruh, when are we going to learn from our mistakes? When are we going to learn? I feel like America was on the right path as far as inclusion is concerned. America is supposed to be the melting pot of the world, which means all different type of people come here, all different beliefs and all this stuff. It's about, are we even wise enough, aware enough, or even want to come together? But see, we don't mind coming together when your life affected, though. People don't mind coming together when they're affected, when they're going through the shit. But that's the gag, spiritually speaking. And yes, for the thunder that's fucking roaring right now, because I'm speaking truth, bitch. Instead of us working together, we will literally sit up here and create lies, spewing lies, and then get mad when the people you talking about, or the people that you're sitting here speaking about, address you. And you don't have any facts to support what you're saying. So if y'all want to be dumb, like I've said it before, and I will say it again. This is probably one of my taglines, if it's not even created by anybody else yet, to my knowledge. It's equality across the board by any means. So if that means equality comes because we actually learn to talk to each other, we actually learn to face our fears, we actually work on community and building that shit like in the 60s and goddamn 70s, land Scurv, since that is the era that you wish to call back, not even realizing that in America that's the same energy that is being called back. Or queer people can finally match y'all on the energy that y'all giving that to us. So that means if y'all want to verbally abuse us, girl, we gonna be like Rubber Girl. What did what's the name say? From Superstar? Marion Catherine Gallagher, bitch. I am rubber and you are glue, and whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks back to you. So if y'all want to read and drag, we can do that. Queers do it better. If y'all want to get in the motherfucking field and fight, don't worry about that. Queers can do that too, and probably can do it better, because they not only have to fight motherfuckers outside their community, they have to fight musty ass, dirty dick ass niggas in their community. And for some of you motherfuckers who are trying to just be on demon time, girl, when it comes down to weaponry and this type of shit, girl, there are queer people who are willing to meet you on that same level, or even go even darker into hell, girl, in reference to their self-defense. Because again, there's a law that's being placed in a country to murder people based off of a Christian ideology. The same thing that these people are saying, this bill that is drafted, that is being said, girl, they can't do it in America yet, so they'd rather go somewhere else and penetrate their influence like they've always been doing, white supremacy, and to start over there. Because this bill is created in the viewpoint, in the ideology of a white God. But it's and Lance Scurv, living in Africa, him supposed to be an individual who's supposed to know about Africa, and know about Mother Nature, and know about the motherland, and know about all these things. It's black people killing other black people in Africa. It's been happening, but now it's going to happen even at a more alarming rate now, because now this is literally giving people the green light. Literally purging the fucking continent, girl, of homosexuality. Like someone said in the comments, they hope that other countries in Africa stand in solidarity with this to stomp this shit out. But you're killing other black people. Y'all will sit here and allow the white man to come once again indoctrinate, once again do the same shit that he did with the inception of America and the system. You let a white man come over and tell you about their God and indoctrinate you with their God because they're bringing the money, the resources, they're bringing all the stuff that this country so desperately needs. And they end up supporting them and being indoctrinated in their faith just for them to turn around and slay other black people. But it doesn't matter because they're queer. And you talking about demonic? You're talking about Luciferianism? You're talking about low vibrational plates? And I'm just doing this on YouTube, girl, because I'm gonna get back in my editing bag, and I'm gonna upload this to YouTube as a video. So I'm probably gonna work on that after I do this live after 6 with the Bad Boys Club, and I'm gonna edit this shit and I'm gonna upload it because y'all playing in our face, girl. Y'all playing in our face. And Miss Beatrice, Noel, you need some queens to play in your face. You need some queens to help you with your face and your hair and your fashions. Because Miss Beatrice, Noel, no shade, girl, you over here looking like a motherfucking overweight, hot ass motherfucking purring pussy ass grandma with all them cats and shit. I gotta believe the reason why your hair stands up the way it... Okay, you know what? Because now I'm gonna be ad hominiming. But I guess since y'all are calling for the death and the imprisonment of queer people, and that these people are actually having the balls, according to y'all, to actually walk out what it is that a lot of these hoe ass niggas in America and a few in Africa are afraid to do, girl. So since we're going to celebrate, girl, we're all, again, equality tends across the board. Whatever vibe or energy y'all on, girl, that's what we going to be on. And you can't get mad and you can't get upset because queer people like myself have been trying to have conversations that offer context and nuance to help y'all, not help us, but to help y'all, because we're clear. We're very clear about how people view queer people. We're very clear on that. We're just trying to help y'all with y'all fears. What's up, King? Now let me continue, girl, and I'm gonna let her rock, because she's supposed to read what the actual offenses is when it comes to this whole bill in Uganda that calls for the extermination and literally the eradication of queer people. This is a genocide that is literally happening. And the motherfuckers on TikTok want to tell me, oh, well, well, go protest in those countries, and because you're just, it ain't happening here. You should be glad that you can walk around and be who you are here, as if though there's no queer phobia here in America. Look at the political and social climate right now. Look at it. Pay attention. Okay, girl. I get. That's okay. That's okay. That's why I'm working on my shit to manifest my financial freedom, so I make sure that weed isn't dead, girl, because I'm gonna need weed to help me get through this bullshit, girl. Because we literally are destroying ourselves as people. We are actively destroying ourselves as people. We are actively sitting here and fighting against each other and continuing the cycle of bullshit that I and our ancestors and other oppressed people who ancestors fought for freedom and equality and inclusion and to be a part of, girl. We're not going to manifest that. But that's okay. I'm going to change it. We're not going to manifest that yet. But I'm going to do all I can with my leprechaun essence to help make sure that humanity ascends to inclusion. We're too busy trying to find God outside of us as opposed to honoring the God within. Which is why we're in this bullshit now.
What's up? I don't just share anymore. Okay, so where's the button to stop sharing? Okay, stop sharing. I'm gonna share anymore. Alright, cool. Alright, guys, let's do this. Let's do this.
Scarier than the Undertaker. We are meeting our matchmaker destiny.
Work on the terminology to know what this means, what that means.
Are you living in Florida, girl? Because it looks like you have orange Florida dirt on your face. And I know that some of the trans women back in the day, shout out to T.S. Madison, when she was learning how to blending, before she learned blending, and all that stuff. She also took that orange Florida dirt mud from the ground, from the earth, and rubbed it on her face. So maybe that's what you have, girl. Cause y'all play in our face, girl. And at this point, girl, it's y'all don't want conversation. Y'all don't want to talk, girl. I already know what Lance Scurv ass stand at. Pause. Because, girl, when it comes to Lance Scurv, it's going to be pause all the time. There is no play. The play button is broken. Okay, it's only pause. I'd rather sit up here and fuck the wig off of Beatrice Noel, girl, and eat her pussy from the back, girl. And I know she'll let me do it too, bitch. I know she would. I wouldn't do it, but I know she would.
They start reading the law. What the law says.
Okay, what the law say, Punjab? We've got Annie.
So, the offense of homosexuality.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, shit, let me back up, girl. I can't fit you all in my eyes. I can't fit you all in my eyes.
If the person performs a sexual act or allow a person of the same sex to perform a sexual act on him or her.
Right.
A person who commits the offense of homosexuality is liable on conviction to imprisonment for life. A person who attempts to perform a sexual act in the circumstances referred to the subsection 1
this is ladies'
offense, and it's liable on conviction to imprisonment for a period not extended 10 years, not exceeding 10 years. For purpose of subsection 3, a person shall be deemed to attempt to commit an offense when the person intending to commit an offense begins to put his or her intention into execution by means adopted to its fulfillment and manifests his or her intention by some overt act,
Right.
but does not fulfill his or her intention to such an extent as to commit the offense. Okay, offense when the person intends to commit it. So they have to intend to commit it. So they don't have to actually do it. They have to. They have to prove that they intend to do it. Okay. So is it in a court of law? You gotta prove it.
Yeah, girl. You don't remember Gay Panic? And I think it happened in your state, Florida. You know, the stand your ground law. The gay panic, the gay fear. Oh, I was afraid. The fact that her ass keeps moving, girl, and I press pause, is kind of terrifying me. But yeah, they have to prove it. Yes, they have. Yes, they have to prove it. Not really. They don't. They don't have to prove it, girl. I mean, again, this is a bill, literally, to sanction the extinction of queer people. You have queer people. There is a newspaper in, I think it's in Uganda or surrounding countries, where they have motherfucking newsletters where they release the names of queer people, where they work, where they live, who their partners are. There was literally a queer activist, I want to say months ago, who had his life tragically taken from him. He was found murdered inside of a fucking metal box. See, that's why self-love and being an empath is very important, that you got to really love yourself. Because when you're empathic, when you're truly, genuinely empathic, it means you feel the energies of other people. You also realize that people are hurting. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people feel as if though they have no control over their life. So when they start doing that and they don't put in the work, a lot of things can happen. They can either take their own life, or they can just not give a fuck about their life and end up hurting other people. And then hurt people hurt people. And as black people, you should be sitting here and should be concerned for your black brothers and sisters, correct? But they're queer though. They're queer. And this bill does not talk about, oh, the sexuality behind closed doors. Y'all can fuck behind closed doors, that's fine. Because Lance Scurv and some of the other people's shit in America is, oh, well, don't put it out in public and don't put it around my kids. This bill says no sex. None. So there is no way for queer people to experience any form of intimacy, even if it's false intimacy, even if they ain't gonna sit out here and fuck somebody of the same sex. The fact that they go out and buy toys to help stimulate or simulate the sexual act between another person, they can't even do that. And it's not going to stop queer people from doing things in secret. It's going to push queer people back into the closet. And now y'all can murder them even more because the law says to not care for these people. And who wants to break the law? This goddamn motherfucking dried out crescent roll on top of your fucking head.
For the avoidance of doubt, a person who is alleged or suspected of being homosexual and who has not committed a sexual act with another person of the same sex does not commit the offense of homosexuality under this section. So basically, you can be gay, or you cannot have sex as a gay person. No sex for you. No sex for you.
This kind of sound a little familiar, Miss Beatrice Noel. Have you had sex recently? No shade. We're going to play this game, girl. I can only imagine the goodies and delectables you got in your motherfucking back, girl. They be motherfucking swimming through them goddamn enveloping coochie lips, girl, to get up into that clit. And again, because people are so fucking basic, which, I mean, that's supposed to be a good thing sometimes, but not when you being ignorantly basic. Again, that bill did not just say any sexual activity, but the promotion or the expression of queerness. Because once again, Lance Scurv and the rest of them, when they see queer people out in the street, girl, apparently in their mind, they must be seeing, I don't know, fucking in the spirit, dick slinging in the spirit, bussy popping in the spirit, I don't know. But there's no sexual act going on. And they still are targeted. They're not sucking dick on the corner. They're not giving head in front of a church. They're not doing that shit in front of a school. They're not doing that shit in front of a parade. These are queer people who literally are just existing. And let's be honest, when it's more of the feminine energy for men or males, it's deemed as gay. Look how anti-gay we are. We are so anti-queer. Pause. All this. If you are secure within yourself, you won't feel no type of way around a queer person. But it proves how insecure a lot of motherfuckers are, girl. And then get online and give this bravado as if though they know what they're talking about. All right, girl.
What? They should be locked up in... Woo! Okay, Kwame.
Oh, yeah, let me pull up the comments, too. I can't pull up the comments, damn. I was going to pull up the live chat.
Guys, I'm not having it at all. Like, sit your asses somewhere or something, okay? So, aggravated homosexuality. A person who commits the offense of homosexuality in any of the circumstances specified in subsection 2.
Yes, girl. Come on, circumstances. That about would never leave you.
Aggravated homosexuality and is liable on conviction to suffer death. The person, okay, the offense is against the person against whom the offense is committed is a child. The offender is a parent, guardian, relative of the person against whom the offense is committed. The person against whom the offense is committed contracts a terminal illness as a result of the sexual act. So if you catch AIDS or syphilis, after that, then okay. So, but when you say that, does that mean like you had gay sex and then you caught AIDS and then the person goes to prison, or You just continue reading. So,
yeah.
Because that's kind of broad. You don't say that it's because they've been having sex and then the person contracted AIDS or the syphilis or whatever, the herpes. You just said that the person had a terminal disease. So, hello, Killer Win. Let's keep going. So, the offender is a serial offender. The offender is a person in authority over the person against whom the offense is committed, of course. The person against whom the offense is committed is a person with disability or suffers a disability as a result of the sexual act. Ooh, that's rough. The person against whom the offense is committed is a person with mental illness or suffers a mental illness as a result of the sexual act. They're like PTSD, depression, hyper anxiety, all thatness. So, all right. So the person against whom the offense is committed is of an advanced age. So when you say that, does it mean that the person's a victim, or is it because they're of an advanced age? Then the person's too old to have participated, so the person becomes a victim. I mean, I don't know, man. This is broad. This is broad, man.
But they don't give a fuck. This is a Christian-inspired thing. A lot of these Christian motherfuckers are broad as hell, which is why they'll never be able to obtain entry into heaven, girl, because heaven is a mindset. Okay? Of course they're going to make it broad. They don't care about the specifics. They don't care. They finally feel like they're in power to impose their lie and to make money and profit off of it. Okay? So what they're going to do is create a bill that is Christian inspired, not Christian as far as Christ consciousness as love, but as far as the religious institutional part of it. Okay? To implement it into a country that welcomed, think about it, that welcomed another, so y'all don't want to welcome queer people, but y'all will openly welcome another faith group that does not even, it's not even organically or naturally yours. And with the broad and the bill being so broad, it literally means we're trying to kill as many of these motherfuckers as we can. That's what it's giving. It's so broad to where, once again, you asking these questions, we don't know. We don't have the answers for the questions because they don't give a fuck about that. They want queer people gone. They want queer expression gone. They want to eradicate queerness. They want to basically Hitler, genocide, queer expression. And a wise mystic once said this, which is gonna gag you bitches, because a lot of these bitches that be over here talking about they consciousness and shit like that, that means you're always a student. You don't know every motherfucking thing. And there are people in life who are living the experiences that you're ignorant on, that are offering you insight to help your motherfucking ass expound your mind. But a wise mystic once said, girl, I was gonna say it, but I'm looking at Beatrice Noel girl, and I kind of forgot my thought. I forgot my thought. That happens sometimes with me. That's okay, but I get back on it. Sometimes the Lord be like, girl, calm down. Calm down. Oh, yes, there we go. There we go. Thank you, universe. You can sit up here and find every single last queer person on the continent of Africa. Snuff it out. Completely get rid of it. Any expression, anything is gone. and then you find some vibranium and you build a big ass motherfucking vibranium Wakanda shield over Africa, I guarantee you, queer people will still be born. And if anything, it's going to happen at a faster rate than it did previously. You know why? Because queer people are part of the experience, and what you resist will always persist. The universe is allowing y'all in the information age to be educated. But we see how fearful a lot of you are to be educated, because once you start dealing with the fear-based ideologies, now you have to start dealing with your own ideologies. You start looking at yourself. You start looking at the things that you participated in that fucked up other people's lives, and maybe you was ignorant to it or not. But instead of having the conversations to, again, deal with all the fears, that's what I'm saying. Can we all sit the fuck down and have a conversation about all of our fears and deal with whatever it comes with? There's no way, shape, or form we are all going to sit down and have calm conversations. It's going to be hot. Tempers are going to flare because this is a passionate thing, but we have to work through the passion. The passion is part of the process. We need the emotion, not just the intellect. We need an integration, an amalgamation, a marriage between thought and emotion, so that we can learn to evolve spiritually and empathetically and to see us all as human beings. If we all human beings and we all can understand at the end of the day that we're human beings, then why are we struggling in the application of that? Let's continue. Baby, gays gonna be here, bitch. Y'all.
So,
girl, we gonna be here, girl.
So
ain't no control, all delete.
Is committed against a person by means of threat, force, fear, bodily harm, duress, or under influence, intimidation of any kind, or through misrepresentation as the nature of the act, or like grooming. The person against whom the offense is committed was at the time the offense is committed was at the time the offense was committed. What?
Mm-hmm.
The person against whom the offense is committed was at the time the offense was committed unconscious or in unaltered state of conscience due to the influence of medicine, drugs, alcohol, or any other substance that impaired his or her judgment. So, for the purposes of subsection section 3, a person shall be deemed to attempt to commit an offense when the person intended to commit an offense begins to put his or her intention into execution by means adapted to its fulfillment and manifests his or her intention by some overt act, but does not fulfill his or her intention to such an extent as to commit the offense. For the avoidance of doubt, a person who is alleged or suspected of being homosexual, who has not committed a sexual act with another person of the same sex, does not commit the offense of aggravated homosexuality under this section. Aggravated homosexuality? Okay. Because here again, how would you know the person had the intent? And did the person walk to the hey? Or is it the person, I don't know, that whining and dining you? Like, you're like, uh-oh. I mean, it is broad, bro. Or like,
it's not the only fucking thing that's broad.
How? The person might have a feminine side. That doesn't mean they're gay. So the term is very broad. But yeah. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just reading it, man.
You're not saying you against it, but you just reading it. You just stated that it's broad. You even had trouble trying to understand what the hell the anti-gay bill was. But see, once again, it's about the eradication of gays because, again, there's a queerphobia in you. And I'm tired of y'all saying y'all not queerphobic. Bitch, y'all queerphobic. Y'all queerphobic as fuck. Again, y'all believe because y'all not out here calling a motherfucker the F word or you're throwing gay slurs. That y'all not physically putting y'all hands on queer people. That you're not out here saying, oh, gays should go to hell and stuff like that. But it's also covert about the way you speak about queer people. Whenever queer is inserted into the conversation, or when y'all decide y'all want to get on y'all lives and speak about queerness, there is no 360 perspective of it. It's always one-sided. It's always biased. And y'all bring nothing factual to the fucking table. And especially in the black community. That's why the black conversations, the black in-house conversations, baby, that's why I be telling motherfuckers, bitch, I don't even think you should drink on that shit, girl. Don't get the Casamigas. Don't get the Hennessy. Don't get into that. We gonna have to have some goddamn weed sponsors here. We gonna have to have Snoop Dogg and all the motherfuckers that be smoking on that good chronic onic. We gonna need to roll the fuck up. Okay? We gonna need to roll up. Some good serious hybrid. We gonna need mental stimulation and relaxation as well as physical stimulation and relaxation. And we gonna have to have these conversations. Because the queer phobia in blackness, and for black people to sit up here and talk about white supremacy and stuff like that, not realizing that y'all operate in the same energy as the oppressor, girl. And you got people who are black and queer who are aware, who can say energetically, girl, it's happening on the outside, and the same thing's happening on the outside, it's happening on the inside. Hello. What about those of us who don't smoke, but just look, anything of weed, I don't care if it's weed Kool-Aid, I don't care if you infusing your food with weed, I don't care. As long as mother marijuana is somewhere integrated in the situation type deal, I'm with it. Because I need to start eating some edibles too. Because I usually smoke and then I'll break off from smoking and then I'll do edibles and I'll come back to smoking and stuff. So it's going to be time for me to get some edibles, baby. I saw some edibles at the dispensary a few days ago. I was like, what? But yes, anything with mother marijuana is included. Well, we're going to have these conversations, girl. But here's the gag, though. Like, there are videos on YouTube of people in the black conscious community who are having conversations about queerness. And they battle other gay people who are not aware, who are hurt, who are being used and abused, who don't have any form of self-love. And they go for those people. They target those people because they know that those people in some way, form, or fashion is going to support their already weak ass, fragile ass, struggling ass logic. But when they get in the ring with people like CTV, when they get in the ring with people like Reckless Logic, when they get in the ring with people like Hope Giselle, when they get in the ring with people like, I think his name is Jay Settings, if I'm not mistaken. When they get in the ring with people, no shade, who are heterosexual like Conscious Lee. When they get in the ring with these people, they have to call the whole motherfucking brigade. They have to go ahead and send out mass text messages, mass email blasts. They have to call in all of the stops. Because these people want to have conversation about queer. They want to throw the rock and then hide their hands. That's what they want to do. They want to participate in it, but not be really connected. They want to be on that Vonnie from Bad Boys Club, girl, I'll stir the pot, but I ain't the one that stirred the pot. I'll give you the spoon and show you how to stir that motherfucker, but I ain't stir the pot because, I ain't. But your influence was there. And for you motherfuckers that think that way, there are people who are going to check your ass. No shade. Sir, we'll do this collab. Oh, we have to plan something. To be honest, it'd probably be better for me to do it like towards the end of the month. No shade. No shade, because I kind of want to plan this out a little bit. So I have to get to you in the inbox about that. And again, you have to bear with me, because let me tell you something. Like I said, I'm in my cocoon phase. I'm learning more about myself. I'm kind of like in my Christ, narrative of Christ 40 days and 40 nights era of my life, where I'm kind of like to myself and trying to figure out who the hell I am and to strengthen myself, because I know what my purpose is and I'm trying to walk in it. So if I'm slow to messages, please charge it to my head, not my heart. It will happen. It will come to pass. Okay? But let's continue, girl. She say she not against it, but because again, it's dealing with these queer people. And again, we need to, that's why these conversations are important. What type of queer people are you talking about? Are you talking about queer people in Hollywood? Are you talking about, what type of queer people are you talking about? Because again, y'all don't specify what type of queer people you're talking about. You just say queer or gay or LGBT, and you see there's a broad spectrum, but yet you're so afraid to have conversations with the people in the community. So how are you going to, quote, help them to escape the bowels of decadence, according to Lance Scurv? How are you going to help them if you don't talk to them? Okay.
I'm just a clarification. But technically, you get it. Don't have sex. Basically, that's what it's saying. Don't have sex. You can be gay. You can express you're gay.
No, you can't.
Don't have sex.
No, you can't.
Basically.
No, you can't.
Punishment for child offenders. A child who is convicted of an offense under Section 2L3 of this act shall, instead of the punishment prescribed under the relevant section, be liable on conviction for imprisonment for a period not exceed 3 years. Oh, okay.
So that's how we know y'all really trying to get rid of queerness. Not only do queer adults face harsh penalties, even children who are queer try to express their queerness, that they can receive up to 3 years in prison.
Okay, that's not so harsh if it's for a kid. Not so hard. Oh, thank you, thank you. Protection, assistance, and payment of compensation to victims of homosexuality. Where a person is convicted of the offense of homosexuality or aggravated homosexuality under this act, the court may, when it's aggravated homosexuality, it's against the person's will, or it's a child, or the person is an elderly. My thing is, okay, so this is what you're saying. If you're an elderly person, you can F how many men or women you like, and then you're like, I'm a victim. So I hope this goes to the court of law before you imprison anybody, because this is, if that's what you're saying. When a person is convicted of the offense of the homosexuality or aggravated homosexuality under this act, the court may, in addition to any punishment imposed, order the person to pay compensation to the victim of the offense of any amount, which in the opinion of the court is just having regard to the physical, sexual, or psychological harm suffered by the victim of the offense, the degree of force used in medical or other expense incurred by the victim of the offense as a result of the offense. Okay? So me, that's I'm like, again, okay, but you said that among the victims, like if you're elderly, like 75 and above, you can't be liable for your action. Okay? So I know you're gonna need to be broader than that. Like you mean 75-year-old people, they can't get horny. Okay. Consent to sexual act is not, okay? act is no defense. Okay. The consent of a person to commit a sexual act shall not constitute a defense to a charge under this act. But then again, you cannot say it's consent because you said the person could be duressed. If the person is duressed or coerced, that it's not that, okay, yeah, the duress or coerced, but I don't know, man. This to me has to go to a court of law. Okay? Where there's a trial and through, I don't know, discovery, investigation, with a testimony, we decide.
Y'all don't even take in the information, the facts, the statistics, the stories. You don't take any of that empirical, substantial amount of evidence, even in America right now. When it comes to queer people have so much receipts to speak about their expression of queerness and how they have contributed to society in ways that still affect this current generation. And y'all still sit there and ignore it. Don't care. So, of course, now you want to ask questions? Now you want to, well, what does that mean? And, well, what does that mean? And, well, what does that mean? And well, what does that mean, girl? Don't ask the what does that mean question, girl, when y'all don't even want to ask queer people that question in America or those who live amongst you. And again, this bill was inspired from white supremacy and the religious institution of Christianity. Okay? Again, they don't need any sort of thing to prove it because God said, the Bible said, and if the Bible said it, then I believe it. So, of course, they don't need any form of explanation and to really break this shit down. That's why it's a dangerous-ass bill. Because, again, the bill is literally calling for the sanction and the extinction of queer people. I don't know how much more this shit we gonna look at.
Yes or no, by a jury, by a jury of at least 6 people, if the person committed an act of homosexuality or not. Oh, okay, Kwame. Me, that's the thing, man. If you know they've been doing it, that's just like the law said. Because you cannot just harass people and say, hey, they're gay. Because what if the person has a feminine side?
It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. In America, that's gay to y'all. Over here in America, that don't matter again. To the point to where men not even wiping their ass. They're not even willing to physically clean themselves or maintain their cleanliness or their hygiene because them cleaning their own butt is something gay. And how is Kwame gonna sit his ass in the comment section and gonna say, well, how do you know? Well, that's if you know they're actually doing it. But then you're calling for the extinction and for other countries to stand up and stomp out this shit. But see, it's also going to be dangerous too because then a lot of people are going to be blamed to be gay. And if you do your research, you will see how there are people who literally set up gay people. And now that there's a fucking bill to where we have the sanction to possibly murder a motherfucker. It's going to be a lot of people who ain't gay who unfortunately are going to feel what it's like to be gay. That's how dumb and dangerous this fucking bill is. The bill's so goddamn broad and so not full of substance. It's shallow as fuck to where that could be applied to anybody. So now the game becomes very dangerous. Again, what you resist is what will persist.
Me, that's my argument. You gotta make sure that's what's up. Because you're about to put somebody in prison for no reason. You feel me?
It don't matter.
So child grooming, that I'm not even going to ask. I'm not going to argue. I don't need specification. Okay, the definition is in the word itself. So a person who recruits, transport, transfer, harbors, or receive a child for a purpose of engaging the child in homosexuality or any other conduct prohibited by under this act.
No, girl. If we're gonna talk about protecting the children again, protect them across the board. Y'all be putting this whole pedo thing exclusively on queer people. But again, queer people make up a very small demographic of the population. So who's out here really doing the child abusing? And again, if we're gonna play the child, I'm all for the protection of children, but let's protect them around the board. So if we're going to talk about child groomers and child abusers, make sure you're talking about around the board, across the board. But of course, a lot of people ain't going to include them, girl, because some of they motherfucking skeletons going to fall out the goddamn closet, girl. So to keep their skeletons from falling out the closet, let's just focus on the gays.
Robert Mel. Okay, a person who displays, distributes, or supplies to a child any material as demonstrating, depicting, or illustrating a sexual act between persons of the same sex or any other conduct that is prohibited under this act. Okay? So, a person shows or avails to a child a picture, video, or film showing, depicting, or
it's coming out tonight at 6:30. Hope you enjoy it.
Person of the same sex or any other conduct that is prohibited under the act. In the presence of a child, performs a sexual act or causes another person to engage in a sexual in the presence of a child, performs a sexual act or causes another person to engage in a sexual act. You mean like an orgy? How can you act? I'm gonna need a little bit more specification about that one.
Well.
So, the consent of a child or the consent of the child's parent or guardian, person in authority, or any other person with parental responsibility over the child to the act is prescribed in subsection 1 shall not be a defense. Why would you consent to that? To a charge under this act. Probably, I don't know, they're hungry, they got bills, and damn. It's like my brother said in Haiti, he met a parent that were going to sell their child for sacrifices. They breed children just to sell them for human sacrifices.
Wow. But y'all worry about the gays,
and
though.
he was a teenager when he witnessed that. He was talking to the person, and they needed money, so they breed children. Wow. So they had like 8 already, 8 or 6, I don't remember.
Wow.
And they were bringing one to give to the Ugandan, so in order to get some money, because like those upper class, you know how it is. They like the human sacrifice, all that good stuff.
Not good stuff.
It's sad. It's really sad. That's the thing, effers. It doesn't bring you any money. It doesn't. It's not gonna make you any richer. What makes you rich is
okay, girl.
The offense under this act commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 7 years. Oh, bro, you cannot say that you're gonna put me in prison because I let people have their. What if I didn't know? Because you have to prove that I knew. What if I didn't know? This is up. He's not playing this.
Don't worry, y'all gonna find out. Because according to Scurv, he knew all the gay niggas, and he knew the gay niggas who was quiet. Lance said when he was growing up and shit, he knew the Fugates of the neighborhood, girl. He knew them. They stayed in their home. They had a little friend that would come over on the weekends. They'd change his clothes, shit. They had little barbecues in the back. Well, we knew they was gay. We knew. It's not gonna be hard for these motherfuckers to find out who is gay because these niggas be looking. Again, if the queer people are back in the closet, girl, and they living a quiet ass life, y'all still going to assume they're not having any females come over to the house. Y'all don't see them with any females outside the house and shit. You keep seeing this one man come over and over and over and over and over again and shit like that. They see all these damn house parties and shit, backyard barbecue parties and shit, with a bunch of studly looking women and feminine ass men coming through. Y'all still new. But this bill, once again, is saying any form of sex, I don't care if it's first, second, third, home run, even the initiation of it. And it's not even for adults, it's even for children too. Because it said for them, child is somebody who is under the age of 18. So even children who are queer. And what about the adults and children that want to experiment and see what it is that they actually like? I mean, isn't it their life? We have a lot of people now who are married to heterosexual partners, and they cannot love them the way that their partner deserves to be loved because they're living a lie. So what do you then say for the queer people who have to adapt? Not because they want to, but to survive. But then also, that's the onslaught of depression and all these other, quote, mental illnesses that Lance Scurv tried to explain on his last live that he did. What the actual things of mental illness is. Not what he thinks it is, but what it actually is. To where now their quality of life is now disrupted and fucked up simply because they're queer. So any form of sexual activity, and not even that, just the expression of it or the promotion of it. Because again, if two men hold hands, girl, people automatically go to the sex. They automatically go to the problem. They automatically say that they don't want it around their children. They automatically go to these things. Excuse me. So again, these motherfuckers made this bill so damn broad because, again, they want to be able to have as much leeway as they can when it comes down to erasing queer people. They don't want to have any facts. They don't want anything, girl. They don't want any sort of legal proceeding or whatever the case may be, girl. No. They are literally trying to indoctrinate Uganda and to let the Uganda people know. Not because of any proof, but because white Jesus said so. That these people or these groups of people are not deemed to be treated as human beings. That these gay people are so evil and insidious and demonic. Luciferianism. I'm trying to think of everything that's low vibrating, girl. Just so hellish. They're waiting in the dark to pounce on you and your children. And all we asking y'all to do is to prove the facts, girl, but you don't have to. Because now you put things into law. That's why a lot of times here in America, when we talk about like things like racism, we call it systemic racism. Because it's a part of the system. If I get laws implemented, bitch, I ain't got to explain myself, ho, this is what the law say, girl. And then what happens is that those laws affect everyone. It really affects those on the bottom of the totem pole. Unfortunately, the majority of us. It don't affect those at the top. Because this game is a game of power. And being exempt. But what these hoes don't understand, girl. That's why I be telling motherfuckers to love themselves, girl. It's like the biblical expression of putting blood on your doorpost. Or like how Andrew Caldwell says, blood on your doorpost. So that you can give yourself grace and mercy, because this false world is falling apart and the religious institutions are trembling. Hypermasculinity and toxic patriarchy and toxic matriarchy, anything that's toxic or that throws off the balance of life, especially in an ignorant place, from an ignorant place, is falling apart to the point to where now these people, they I would be a fool to believe that that same vibrational energy of fear is not reverberating here in America. If anything, I feel like Uganda and them passing this bill is just a testing ground for religious institutions to find a scapegoat or to find a way to get back into power. The last 4 years, it was about racism and race and vote for your life. And now it's about the queer people. Again, the oppressed people, whenever they rise, girl, now we have to have a congressional hearing on them rising and liberating themselves. Now we got to talk about it. Now we got to bring up all this shit. Girl, where was all this shit before, bitch? Where was all this motherfucking factual shit that you hoes had before, girl? Especially if being queer is so demonstrative and destructive. Where are the fruits of that destructive labor? Where? In an overabundant type of way to where it would be affecting me in my own life. Y'all can't call it. But bitch, it's Pride Month, so we're going to call y'all out. We're going to call out the wig. We're going to call it all out. What's up, Hero? What's up, Tosh? And again, I'm going to be uploading this to my YouTube channel. I'm just doing it on Instagram right now. And then upload it. But let's continue with this breakdown of this Uganda bill.
Man, Kwame that Museveni. It's disgusting. Of course I don't like it. It's disgusting. I feel I have to take.
And usually they say people who really hate and discuss shit, they struggling with it themselves. So Kwame, is there something you need to talk about, pimping?
Let's see. A person, okay, so prohibition of marriage between persons of same sex. Dog, they ain't gonna let you marry. Come on, man. You know?
Yeah, y'all don't even want us to fuck. Because like you said, according to the bill, girl, no sex, no sex, no sex, no sex, no sex at all. No intimacy, no nothing, girl. That's why people call it the kill the gays bill or hate the gays bill. Because again, you're literally trying to suppress another person's expression of life. And y'all are suppressing it based off of ignorance. It would be something if y'all can prove factually across the board that all queer people are doing something that is destructive in nature. But see, y'all got the Bible, so according to them, that's all the proof y'all need. That's all the proof y'all need. Because again, the Uganda bill was created, it was pushed because of religious ideologies and reason. Religion is failing horribly in America. Organized religion is failing in America. Consciousness is rising. The Christ consciousness that worked through the expression of Jesus, there's only one Jesus, but many Christ. And when you look at these other books, there's the same underlying story. Are we paying attention to the underlying theme here? It was calling for love and inclusion, to be empathetic. But we also live in a world where people are hurt. We live in a world where people have played games on us, and we have not reconciled from that. We have not healed from that. And because we have not done any of those things, instead of us actually working towards inclusion, we will continue to separate each other. And for the black people, especially the black people in America who have a problem with queerness, if they were to eradicate queers, who do you think they're coming for next? It's not a goddamn one time, one night only, slam bam, thank you ma'am. Green eggs and hams. Pussy asshole and mouth Pam. And like I said, it's Pride Month, so bitch, my gay powers is like on steroids. So at this point, I don't have any tolerance for ignorance. It's one thing that I have to review and give my commentary and to continue to establish yet another credible, concrete timeline of queerphobia that y'all keep giving to queer people to use. We keep winning because y'all keep losing. But I'm here to actually just, again, document how ignorant a lot of us in the community are. Because there are people who, now, even though I've been throwing shade at Beatrice Noel, let me be real. Because baby, it's Pride Month, so you know, at this point, girl, it is what it is. And it's Juneteenth coming up, bitch, so Let a white motherfucker say something, girl. Don't be anti-race, don't be racist and queer, girl. Ron Bugatti, you might not want to try me this month. You might not want to motherfucking do a round 2 with me this month, girl. Because Juneteenth, so some black liberation and queer liberation was going on too, baby. I don't think you want Bubzdagawd. But I feel like Beatrice Noel wants to understand. I feel like she does. But it's like sometimes you kind of throw little slick ass jabs and shit too. So at this point, girl, it is what it is, girl. It is what it is. Like, I'm trying to have the quote unquote different territories. Like, I'm trying to bridge the gap here. I mean, if y'all want to continue to do this as far as back and forth, that I'm cool with that too. Because y'all not going to spout ignorant rhetoric. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care how old your ass is. No. You don't get to sit up here and discount other people's experiences of life. Especially a bunch of motherfuckers y'all not even willing to sit down and talk to.
Okay. A person who purports to contract a marriage with a person of the same sex, preside over, conducts, and witnesses, or directs a ceremony. Witnesses? Witness? Oh, witness! Or directs a ceremony purported to a marriage between persons of the same sex, knowingly attends or participates in the preparation of a purported marriage between person of the same sex, commit an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a period no exceed 10 years. Okay, and finally one more section because it's long. I usually get it's 19 pages, so I'm not 13. I give you most of it. So promotion of homosexuality. Who's gonna promote? I understand you can promote an orgy, but not like.
They mean the fact of being liberated, girl. They mean the fact of being proud of being who you are. They're talking about being able to love your partner openly. Keyword love. I didn't say fuck your partner openly. I didn't say to bust it open with your partner openly. I didn't say to be the throat goat with your partner openly. I mean to simply just be open with them or just exist. Because like you said, what if it's a feminine man? What if it's a man that wears, he likes to wear tighter clothing and likes louder, vibrant colors? Who doesn't fit the quote unquote status quo of what society deems to be a man? So even them, if they are not operating in hyper masculinity, which is the policing of other men because these hoes insecure, if you don't subscribe to that, if you don't follow that, and you do anything that is deviant from that, that will be considered unmanly, therefore will be considered gay. Because somebody said here in America that other countries take after America because we are the quote-unquote superpower of the world. And that's in military might, unfortunately, and nothing else. But if the people in America are anti-queer and say anti-queer shit all the fucking time, these other countries are going to follow. And I mean, Uganda was able to manifest something that a lot of people in America want to happen. They may not want to be part of it. Or like Beatrice Noel says, I may not agree, but I understand. What? I'm trying to save the rest of this damn weed for this damn bad boy shit, but she about to make me spark this shit up, baby. And I'm trying to be nice to the bad boys. Okay?
Ain't that crazy to promote stuff like that, bruh? But yeah, promotion of homosexuality. A person who promotes homosexuality commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 20 years. A person promotes homosexuality when a person encourages or persuades another person to perform a sexual act or to do any other act that constitutes an offense under this act. knowingly advertise, publishes, prints, broadcasts, distributes, or causes the advertisement, publication, printing, broadcasting, or distribution of any means, by any means, including the use of a computer information system or the internet, of any material promoting or encouraging homosexuality or the commission.
So no, it gets better. So if you're being bullied for being queer, you can't speak to anybody about it. You can't share your thoughts about being bullied. There's no such thing as anti-gay anymore, girl, because we're not bullying you because the law's in place. So technically, by law, we're just following the law. Just like how a lot of Christians, not all, but a lot of Christians use the Bible as a shield, not because they're in warfare against the enemy outside of them, but they're using a shield to hide their own fucked up ass insecurities and weak ass logic and ideologies. They don't want to be exposed. But doesn't the truth set you free? So y'all literally are telling people who are free to go back into the closet or to go back into obscurity, even though you're not educated and you don't even understand queer people. You just tired of seeing the queer shit in your face. Are you tired of seeing the queer shit in your face because it's destructive? Or are you tired of seeing the queer shit in your face because there's a part of you, girl? Because the way that I'm going to play y'all game. Since homosexuality is just like such a powerful, just potent force, girl, that's just like, bitch, it just puts a spell on your ass and you just become completely captive to it. Is it true, girl? Because the way that y'all talk about homosexuality and the sex part about it more, y'all must want some. Do the men over there wants to know what it feels like to be inside of another man? And I'm going to let you know, it feels amazing. It feels wonderful. Do you want another man inside of you? Because some niggas like that too. Do some of y'all want to get pegged? Girl, let's talk about the male G-spot called the P-spot, your prostate. Are y'all feeling some type of way, baby, because you want your woman to strap you down and stimulate that shit? Because when you get your P-spot stimulated, baby, you thought the nuts you busted was something, girl. It's a lot of things y'all don't know about queerness. But I feel like y'all want to explore it, but y'all afraid to explore it. Y'all afraid to see what it's really about. Because again, you can listen to a person, they telling themselves, girl, y'all talk about sex all the time. Whenever it's queer, you talking about pussy eating, dick sucking. Y'all talk about all this stuff. Y'all talk about the sex more than the gay people do, girl. Y'all all in it. At this point, I'm just going to believe y'all want something. And guess what? I guarantee you the down low community in Uganda is going to grow. It's going to grow exponentially. Because again, y'all cannot get rid of queerness because queerness, Mother Nature, God, source, universe, the thing that's been here before us, during us, and after us. Even the motherfuckers before us didn't have a full understanding of what the hell this energy is. We grow and evolve as we continue. If they don't have a problem with queer people walking upon its back, if Mother Nature has not naturally and organically, girl, sent some spores of shit in the air that strictly target homosexual people, girl, because she got tired of it, until that fucking day happens, queer people are part of the experience. Now I'm going to give her a few more minutes. I low-key want to skim through this because it's supposed to be talking about other stuff. And then I want to read this damn article, which I think I might read the article. I'll do a voiceover for that. I'll do that. Okay? Let's continue.
Of an offense under this act provides financial support, whether in kind or cash, to facilitate activities that encourage homosexuality or the observance of normalization of conduct prohibited under this act. So guys, that's most of the bill. So basically, if you can be gay, but you can't have sex. Oyela, what's up?
Y'all can't even differentiate between gay and sex. Because again, when y'all think of gay people, y'all automatically go to the sexual aspect. Y'all heterosexual. I don't talk to a heterosexual person, and when they with their wife, I'm thinking about them plugging their wife, dicking down their wife, going balls deep in their wife. I don't think about that. When I look at my parents kissing, I don't automatically go to, oh my God, they fuck. I don't. I see two grown-ass adults still in love with each other for being together for, I think, over 30 years now. So what do you mean? I guess it's the question I want to ask y'all, since we're not going to have a conversation. How can you be, through y'all definition, how can you be gay but not have sex? If, according to y'all, that is the basis of homosexuality, is the sexual aspect. So how can you be gay and not have sex? There's still an attraction to the same sex. Girl, this is planet Earth. Scotty, where you at, bitch? Beam a nigga up. What is going on?
What I don't understand is they're saying that if the person's elderly, so okay, so so if the person's not 75 or above, they're elderly, so they're not in the position to decide whether to have sex with you or not. So when we know there may be horny 75, 80 years old, 90 years old people. So it's too broad, bro. That means this person can go around and F men around. And then he's a victim of each one, or she's a victim of each one of them. And because they're a victim, they should be compensated. So now the person's going to go to prison, they have to compensate you too.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, don't forget, you can't be a serial offender, a serial gay. Which means you can't be go out here and just fucking people. You can't have multiple partners, can't even have one. But if you want more than one, you can't even do that, because then now you're classified as a serial offender of homosexuality. Girl, this is
so that's what's up.
Goddamn draconian shit is this.
So again, the United States is threatened with sanction. So Museveni, that's why before the bill wasn't saying that you can be gay. But now, in fact, the bill was saying you can't be gay at all.
Yeah.
So the new bill saying you can be gay, but you can't have gay sex. So I just wanted y'all to see what the bill's about and what the bill is saying. So I'm gonna make a folder for today's episode, which is 90, right? Well, or not, what the episode is it? What's the name of the show? Okay, Uganda, SOROS, HEDGEMONY. Yeah, US HEDGEMONY. Okay. So I'm just going to write the folder like that. So you can see the bill, you can read the bill. There it says right on it, Uganda anti-homosexuality bill. Actually, I think there's some states you can be gay, kind of, or not. I don't know.
Yes, it's countries.
Some states. I mean, it's only like recently.
What?
Some state tolerated it.
What?
Because even in the 80s, they would take you and then plaster your face on the news, or they arrested you, showing like a homosexual. Yeah, it's only very, recently.
What?
Very, very recently.
What?
So.
Are you done?
So here's what BBC is saying. I'm just going to make one folder and put all of them for y'all to read.
Girl.
Threatens any number of Ugandans who want nothing more than to live their lives in safety and freedom. All right, so y'all, is there somebody here who's Ugandan on the chat? And please tell me what the hell Joe Biden is talking about. Somebody in the chat, he's Ugandan.
Okay, girl, because apparently, girl, you only gonna support them if they're Uganda and straight. Anyway, girl, we have yet to discover any new factual evidence that actually supports the fear-based ideology and perspectives of Sister Beatrice, Noel, Scurv, and those who think like them, girl. And once again, I am doing this because, again, I'm establishing a credible timeline on the mindset and the ignorance and the fear that these people say are not there, but yet they display it fully. And like I said, there will be a conversation coming. It ain't got to be with Lance Scurv. I'll have one with BEATRICE, NOEL. I'll have one with anybody over on that camp that want to talk about it. Hell, Kwame, you want to talk? We can talk too. Like, I'm trying to actually build community. There are intersections of blackness that people like Lance Scurv and other people are missing. And at this point, if there is a race war that's inevitable to come, you need as many motherfuckers as you can. And I think at the end of this, I'm going to pose a question to Lance Scurv, and I'm also going to pose a question, okay, to all those Pan-African Hotep black conscious ass niggas, girl. This invite goes out to Lance Scurv. This invite goes out to Black Men Unfiltered. Hell, at this point, this goes out to Sinetta and them and all the black conscious content creators. Because I'm going to start saying names. How did y'all feel? Because I just recently discovered yesterday, okay, that Huey P. Newton, one of the original creators, members of the Black Panther Party that a lot of black people in the black community still support, still want that energy to come back, still reverberate in that militant type of energy that cared about the people and actually put the foot down to the pavement and actually walked it out and applied it. They were asked in an interview during the 70s, girl, their viewpoint, or his viewpoint, on women's liberation and queer liberation. Because at that time in the 60s and 70s, it wasn't just black liberation. It was women's liberation. It was queer liberation. It was anti-war. There was a lot of liberation, a lot of consciousness that was raising up. And Huey P. Newton didn't speak a lot of the things that a lot of these conscious motherfuckers speak now, girl. He was about inclusion. He understood that we had to come together as oppressed people, especially those who are politically minded, those who understand that we're being attacked, and come together and work in a universal way where all parties can be happy and satisfied with each other. They were actually trying to sit down and have the conversations and meet with representatives and talk to them to try to understand, is there a common ground that we can have? And the question I have is, do you believe that Huey P. Newton was bought out? Do you believe that when he said what he said on what I'm going to share at the end of the video, did he sell out? Was that an AI pre-record, a re-recording of it? Did they splice some words around? Like, what was it? And I'm also going to leave the link down to Conscious Lee, shout out to him, who literally did a whole live speaking about Huey P. Newton, talking about LGBT people, how they are very much a part of the political liberation movement, that they are also human beings who have been oppressed by the system, and instead of doing the dumb shit that we keep fucking doing, to actually sit the fuck down and talk to each other and say, how can we help each other not be oppressed? If for me to get what I want, I have to work with people to help them get what they want. It's a vice versa thing. That's one of the 7 spiritual laws of success. But anyway, I'm out. And like I said, it's Pride Month. So I want y'all niggas to speak y'all shit. I want y'all niggas to be overtly homophobic. I want you to, girl. Go ahead. Show us who you really are. Show us who you really is. Just be honest. I want people to be honest about where they at, girl. If you don't like gays, you don't like them. If you want them to burn in hell, say you want to burn. Speak your truth. So that we can deal with the objective truth. Baby. And learn to love yourself so you can understand it.